Hey guys, Miss Stewart here, and I want to welcome you to the spring 2018 semester and this course, PHED 2685, Health, Wellness, and Society. I want to take just a couple minutes with this presentation, and I'll do several of these very short presentations throughout this orientation module. I think it's important to try to engage with students as best I can via video or some sort of narration versus just putting information out there for you to just simply read. But for this orientation module, I'll use several of these quick little short videos to explain some very important things about the course that I think you need to really make sure that you pay attention to as you're completing this orientation module for this first week of the semester. So I'm going to minimize, and I'm going to put up on the screen the PowerPoint here, and it's only 4 slides. But it just does a very quick introduction of the course, just so that you have an idea about the course and about your instructor. So the first thing is I have been here at the university since 2003. I have my master's degree from this department. My undergrad degree is from Berry College in Rome, Georgia, in sports medicine. Some of you may know that better as athletic training. And so I've been here, and I am now a senior lecturer, and I am the actual program coordinator of Health and Community Wellness degree. And so I've been the program coordinator and was on the committee that actually developed that degree a couple of years ago. One of the things that you'll learn about me throughout the semester, if you have me in the classroom, is that I truly believe that we as human beings, as health and wellness professionals, should always continue to be learning and putting that knowledge into action for the better good of our society and for the better good of our own lives and to help those around us. And so I have several, obviously, certifications that you can see there on the screen. I am a national health coach, a fitness nutrition specialist, and a therapeutic exercise specialist through ACE, which is one of the organizations that we are an educational partnership with, which is the American Council on Exercise. I also do a lot of work with the National Wellness Institute. We'll be doing a lot more important work for our degree program with the National Wellness Institute this coming semester as far as accreditation and some other very important work for our students. But I'm a certified wellness practitioner and a worksite wellness specialist. And then, of course, I also teach the CDC's diabetes prevention program. And I work with WellCOA as well as a faculty designated status individual, so do some training and things with them as well. So again, I have a sort of an extensive background when it comes to programs within our degree. So I'm really excited about this particular course. I think it's a really, really important course that's going to sort of open your eyes to something a little bit different when it comes to health and wellness. So having said that, let's talk a little bit about the course very briefly. Obviously, the very first module that we cover in this course is going to explain a little bit more. But when it comes to health, most individuals just simply think that it's a matter of individual lifestyle factors. So your choices that you make as far as your overall health is really a part of it, but it's not the whole. There are cultural, there are environmental, there are socioeconomic factors in our society that actually do have an impact on an individual's health, their income status, where they live, their choices to pursue education, or whether they're male or female, their race, their physical environment. And so as you see on the screen, the slide on, or the graphic there on the left that shows numerous different determinants, that's what this course focuses on. It focuses on what are those societal factors that have an impact on an individual's health. So how does where you live play an important role? How does your educational status or your socioeconomic status, how do all of those things, besides just if you choose to exercise, if you choose to eat healthy, if you choose not to smoke, those are very important decisions, but how do those other societal decisions impact our overall health? And some of those are within our control and some of them aren't. So people are at a disadvantage or at an advantage for health and are to have a better health or unhealthy when it comes to our society. So that's what this course is going to talk about, is how society impacts health and wellness. Now, you're going to work through several important tasks in this orientation module. Some of those are simply going to be asked, for you to review something. Some of the tasks are going to ask you to do something. Some of the tasks are going to ask you to complete something and submit it. And so you just take those individual tasks as they are individually and complete those tasks. And you need to do that this first, by the end of sort of the deadline, so the first week of this the course. But there's a couple of things that I do want to make sure that I point out. It's really, really important that every single one of you pulls up the syllabus that is located in this orientation module and reads it from top to bottom. The syllabus is essentially sort of your contract with me and this course, and so it's really important for you to understand what those policies are. And how this course is going to sort of be laid out and the components that we're going to cover. Because most of the time when students send me an email, I simply say, refer back to the syllabus, refer back to the syllabus. I've put all of those questions that have been asked over the years on the syllabus to make sure that you have it with you 24/7. Each week you're going to want to start early. I know there are going to be students in this course that are going to wait until Sunday to start completing their module, and I can assure you you're not going to be successful if you do that, particularly those of you that have had me know that when I do things like discussion boards, I do require you to post numerous times throughout the week. You cannot complete all of your work on one day. It is important for you to be engaged. You are a major. You are someone who's going into this profession, and you are not just a general student any longer. So it's going to be really important that you show that professionalism. And one of those ways to do that, as I've got on the screen, is you've got to be responsive. You've got to be respectful with your engagement with your peers and with your instructor, and you've got to be engaged in the course. And that means to review that information at the very beginning of the week, understand and lay out your timeline on when you need to complete your task and to get those done. But you're not going to be able to complete those the very last day of the week. Textbook. It's going to be really important because there are going to be questions and information that I'm going to ask you to cover simply in your reading, not necessarily what I put in to the modules each week as far as narrated notes, which are going to be in addition to, but you're going to be asked to read specific information, and you could be tested over that information. So your textbook is listed on the syllabus. They should have it at the bookstore, but you most certainly can order it online if you can find it cheaper, but you need to do that now. And you need to have that textbook by the end of this first week. That's when we're going to start our first content module at the beginning of the second week. There's also going to be a module that's going to say directions for required assignments. I have its own module within this orientation module that basically has nothing but the specific instructions on how to complete all of the required assignments in this course. And so you'll want to make sure that you review that as well. As I mentioned before, you need to be responsive, you need to be respectful, and you need to be engaged. Responsive meaning that you should be working in this course every day. You should be checking email, you should be checking announcements, you should be engaged in your coursework. If you have questions, you most certainly can email those to me, but I am one that is, I find it very important as future professionals that you are respectful when you communicate with your peers or with your instructor. And so I'm going to have a couple of other videos throughout the orientation module about some very specific policies and some things that I think it's really important. And one of those is, how do you correspond with your peers or your faculty in a very respectful way? I can't tell you how frustrating it is for an instructor to get an email that has no greeting, It has no salutation. It basically says, I don't understand why I got the grade I got. It's very rude. It comes off very aggressive. And so we need to change that culture, because the faculty in this program, including myself, are very willing to work with students on assignments. But one of the things that you've got to learn to do is to be respectful. And one of the ways we do that is how do we respond to our peers and faculty members via email or face-to-face. So we'll have some other information about that as well. And then I do have one policy that I've found that's very helpful. It's called 3 Before Me. It is going to be listed on the syllabus as well, but 3 Before Me is a policy that I implemented because I continued to get a lot of questions about different things that were already listed and answered on the syllabus. And so before you can email me and ask me a specific question, you are to check 3 places. In those 3 places typically are, you got to check the syllabus. If you can't find the answer on the syllabus, then ask a peer. So reach out to your peers, whether it's via an instant chat message or whether it's via an email, and ask your peer, or then check another place, whether it's the calendar or whether it's the directions for required assignments. So you've got to check 3 places to find the answer, and most of the answers will be on the syllabus, before you can email me your specific question. So I want to make sure that you're doing your due diligence as well in this course, to understand that you've got to put in the work as much as I've got to put in the work to educate you as well. So those are just a few very, very important points that I want to make sure that you don't overlook. And so again, to finish out, you need to make sure you go back and complete all of the required tasks on the task list. Make sure you complete those. Again, it's really important, because those students that don't complete those tasks by the end of the first week are really showing me that they're not really engaged in this program and they're not engaged in the class. And so those students will be administratively withdrawn from the course if you don't submit everything that you need to submit by the end of the first week. So it's really important that you take that responsibility. So again, I hope you enjoy the course. I'm very excited about the course. I think you're going to have your eyes opened up to a whole new perspective when it comes to health and wellness. And so I look forward to working with all of you this semester.